Hi, this is Terry Healy bringing you some extraordinary transformation. Today's show is brought to you by Ryan Eberhardt from Diamond Residential Mortgage. Diamond is a wonderful organization. However, Ryan particularly brings a wonderful sense of integrity and knowledge to the industry that's kind of a little bit rare. So if you're out there mortgage shopping, give him a call. You'll definitely be able to tell the difference. His office is conveniently located on Route 30 at 350 Northland Drive in Valparaiso. His direct phone line is area code 219-707-8429. So thank you all for tuning in today. I have some very interesting guests. I have a partial membership of the band Striped Socks. And if anyone caught the promo video that I set out there on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, you would have caught a little bit of a clip of some of the work they did when I had the privilege to see them the second time around. So I have two members with me in the station, and we're waiting for one more to show up. So I think he likes to make a grand entrance, so we'll kind of see what happens with that. I've got Drew and I've got Bobby with me. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in today. Us. Yeah, I appreciate you making the time and finding your way to Valparaiso today to cut a show. I do want to share just a little bit of information with y'all. I know that folks that know me know that I travel around quite a bit, and I like to catch live music. I love to hear new bands, and it's gotten to a place now where I usually have more than one option available to me at any given moment. All weekend long, I keep like a list of everybody who's playing where, and then I just kind of go, I think I'm going to head that direction, east or west, north, south, whatever that be. And I found myself at an open house for wonderful people that I know, and the band had graciously allowed their schedule or arranged their schedule to come and perform for this open house in this kind of an outdoor the house, I guess, out of a pole barn. You guys are on the side of a pole barn. And I thought, well, I really like these people having the party. So I'm going to take, I'll just sit and I'll just kind of do, wait for a song or two to come through, and then I'm going to scoot, because I had places to go, right? I had other places I wanted to go that evening. And what ended up happening was I sat through more than two songs. I actually sat to you guys are like done, which was really surprising. So really lively band, a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm, and just a really good option. So, kind of what I want to put out there is just kind of a plug for you guys. So if all these guys are kind of interspersed all different areas actually across the world right now. But if you're looking for a nice band to come out and play a venue, play your event, you want to hook them up. And we'll wait for our missing band member to give us some place to go as to how to track you guys down. So all that said, again, they were worth just taking a moment to say, hey, let's get some footage out here. Let's kind of talk about who you are and what you're up to and where you're going, band or not band. So first, I guess the first conversation is how often are you guys getting out there and playing?
We've been playing most weekends, pretty much the whole summer. Last time we played was on the beach on the 6th, but before then, we were pretty much most Saturdays or Friday and Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Or a few times a Saturday.
No way, really?
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
during like the open house season, during the month of June when everyone has their open houses. That was when all of our shows were booked. Like every Saturday, there'd be like 2 or 3 open houses that we were asked to play at, and we made most of them.
Wow.
So.
Mm-hmm. And we have 7 guys in the band, but we usually don't have more than 5 or 6 playing on one gig. So we actually did 3 in one Saturday before.
My goodness!
There was a gig at 2, at 6, and then at like 10.
Oh my! Really? You started
like Drew and I would just switch out because we had other random stuff going on those days.
Yeah.
But the band, like as a whole, like the people who weren't switching out did all of them. So
right.
It's just a whole day of moving stuff and playing and having fun.
Well, how cool that is, right? To like have more than one opportunity in a day. I guess I also think about like just the logistics of like tearing down the equipment, setting bad the equipment, tearing down, setting up, that sort of thing, back and forth. That's
it was tough to get all the equipment moved in time.
Yeah.
Because then you got to be on time for the next gig.
Yeah,
you're like having a blast
right.
and you want to hang out and chill, but then you're like, wait a minute, we have 30 minutes, and the drum set needs to be a few miles away.
Right. You better not hit traffic. Better not hit a train on your way from one to the other. It was cool to see you guys on the beach. Holiday weekend. That was pretty nifty.
It was a blast.
Yeah, that was really cool. And you know what's funny? I put the video, for those of you that didn't get an opportunity to see it, I posted a video out there. It's out there on my YouTube channel, so pick it up if you want to just have a smile for about 3.5 minutes. That there was only one person who caught that you were all barefoot. You know, with social media, she was like, "Oh my gosh, none of them wearing shoes." I'm like, "There's an eye. There's an eye." I mean, I caught that, but you kind of, I don't know. It just.
I mean, I do that when we're not on the beach, anyways. But
do you really?
Don't tell people that.
Right. You play without shoes?
Sometimes.
Oh, there we go. Now everyone's
Depending
gonna start watching that. That's funny. That was an interesting place for you guys to play. I just watching the logistics of all of that, and with the waves coming in and all that stuff happening, and worrying about your electric setup and equipment.
Oh yeah, it was tough because we had to move all the equipment down a hill to get down there.
Right.
And then we had waves coming in and people telling us like pick up all the cords because we had some cords that were just on the sand.
Yes.
And not up on the stage, and but it's like once you get playing into the set and people are enjoying it, it makes all the tough setting up and stuff worth it.
Except
Really?
when the generator fails and then everything shuts off in the middle of Revolution or whatever song we're playing.
Yeah.
Did you guys have that problem?
Happened a few times.
Oh wow! Because I only caught like not even your whole first set.
Yeah.
And then I had to boogie.
All you can do is wait for it to come back on, and thankfully it would in a minute or so.
Yeah.
But it would kind of just be you're jamming, people are dancing, then whoosh,
Right. Ooh.
you
Yikes.
don't hear anything except drums.
But time for a good time for a drum solo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. Now that one thought I caught when that you guys do that one every year. You do that event every year.
We did the beach last summer too.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was your second time doing it. And where we were, for those of you not aware, we were in an exclusive area up on the lakeshore called 2 Acres. And somebody, I just was catching pieces of it when I was there, but somebody was gracious enough to set up a stage for you and get you guys going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was somebody's party who lived in 2 Acres, and we knew them. We were good friends with the band and everything, and so they invited us out. And we had a blast last year.
Right.
And we've been talking about it since then.
Sure.
So they invited us out again this year, and it was just
Cool.
we had a ton of gigs, leading up to it, but we always just kept talking about the beach gig. Like, we got to be ready for the beach gig, got to prepare, and we got to make it amazing. And it was a blast. I loved doing it.
I hated leaving it. Can I just be honest with you? I felt like sniff. There I am crawling up the hill, going, "I wish I could stay." But I had already had a commitment, so I had to boogie out. But very nice. I think I can appreciate what you're saying. Like when you get out there and the energy's rolling, the people are enjoying it. That makes all the tear down and the setup worth it.
Yeah, because it's being honest. I think we'll all say it's not fun. Setting up
Sure.
all that equipment, especially moving it down on that day. But it's like what you're setting it up for.
Sure.
And
sure.
how much fun it's going to be. So you just gotta struggle through it.
Right,
That's what you
take a
get
deep
paid
breath.
for. You don't get paid to play the music. That's
Yeah.
the fun part.
Oh.
Hopefully, you get paid to rehearse and travel and move stuff and deal with logistics.
Yeah, I got that.
That's how I see
got
it.
that. Yeah, the lights on with that. That makes sense. What has been like when you look and you? Well, let me backtrack again. I also heard that you guys have been playing together since 5th grade.
Some of the guys, we're all pretty tight friends. We
Yeah.
all grew up in Chesterton.
Yeah.
There's a small music community, sort of. So we've always just been together, randomly collaborating and cross paths at random times. But we weren't officially a band until some of the guys did the talent show 2 years ago. So actually, that's how originally the band formed, was just as a talent show group.
Really?
And they won the talent show, and
Okay,
their
right.
friends. I'm saying they because it was Drew and I weren't a part of it at that point,
Right.
Because it was just some of the kids in high school. Because I was off at college. They won the talent show, and their friends were like, "Hey, come play at my open house." They're like,
Right.
"Okay, we don't know any music besides one song that we learned for the talent show,
Right.
but sure." And then they got stuff together, and then like, "Hey, Bobby, you should join. Hey, Drew, you should join." And we've kind of just become this fluid group, and yeah, it's really taken off since then. But that's initially how it started off.
Well, I have to tell you, it's a little amazing that you've only been doing that for 2 years because there's such a synergy there within all of you guys, and it's almost like you look and you say, well, there's like a base level of talent, up on the stage, right? So you catch that. But then there's also that connectedness that you have, and that's probably a lot of what comes through.
I'm glad that does.
Yeah, it did for me.
That does, and it's probably it comes from rehearsing a lot, but it also comes from playing street hockey and basketball together, and just hanging out and playing darts, and it comes from all the other stuff that's outside of the music that comes into the music.
Ah, that does come through the music. That has to, yeah, because that was like palpable. That was something I could tell when I first saw you guys. So yeah, that was good stuff. Do you find yourself, like when you finish up a gig, wanting to hang out with the people that are there?
Oh yeah, and we usually do. We do a lot of the times.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of things with younger folks. So open houses.
Yeah, it's usually our friends' open houses that we're playing at anyways.
Right.
So yeah, once we're done, usually we stay and hang out for a while.
Right.
And just procrastinate packing up all the equipment.
Right, sure,
as long as we can.
Mosey on out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I wonder, my curiosity is that as you continue to get more traction and more tread and things like that, you might have times that you're going to go, well, who do we pick? What's when we're going to do? That you're going to have more than one person knocking at your door and ringing the bell, wanting to put you out there. So.
It's happened a little bit.
Oh, stop.
Not
it's already
much.
going?
Not really, but it happened one time.
Well, then it's happened.
Yeah.
That works. Well, watch it. I wonder if it's going to happen more and more and more as it gets down to it. Well, and definitely keep touch with me, because you may find, as we all are connected to other things, that there's always opportunity to recommend a band and have you guys come play out. So it felt like are you all of you in university, going to college in different places, or?
A few of the guys are already there. Like, I'm in college.
Okay.
A few of the guys have spent a year. So I've been 2 years, a few guys 1 year now, and then the rest of the guys just graduated high school. So everybody's going off somewhere. So everybody's going to be in college as of this August.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And what do you think is going to happen? How's that going to affect your...
We're really not sure. We're kind of just playing it out and see what happens, because we're not sure what the plans for next summer are.
Right.
We may, happen to all be back at one time, and we'll get a gig or two together. But we're really not sure what's going to happen. We're just kind of feeling it out and been enjoying the summer a lot, as much as we can.
Sure. Well, you guys have been pretty busy, pretty active, playing. It'll be interesting to see how that all rolls. I just kind of, when I was thinking about like passing on your information, as a possible gig opportunity at that, maybe holidays, kind of holiday parties, things like that, when you're all kind of back and stationary. Now, you got one guy who's in Japan right now?
Yeah, our drummer Brian flew to Japan actually the morning of our beach gig. So Drew played half of the drums on it. Okay. And I played the other half of that set.
Oh, wow. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, it's kind of handy that you guys can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you can do more than one thing.
And that's the great thing about, as we mentioned, how we have 7 members total, but it's usually not all 7 playing at once. So then, if someone's out of town or, in another country, then, the rest of us can kind of fill in as we need to.
Right.
And we have 3 guitar players total, so, if one guitar player can't make it, then it's not a huge deal, because we can just kind of cycle out members where we need to.
Nice. That's handy. Good to be able to carry more than one plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I thought I saw somebody going by our window looking for a station. I wonder if it was Sam. Sam is our missing member. Oh, I see him. Here he comes. So I just want to take a moment and thank everybody who's listening to the station. You are listening to WVLP at 103.1 FM, also live streaming at WVLP.org. And thanks for everybody who's tuning in. We have the opportunity to speak with and interview I think an exciting young band out there that I kind of happened upon when I wasn't really thinking about it or looking at it. And I didn't even know that you guys were playing until I showed up at that open house. I was like, oh, live music. I can do that for a second. So it just kind of talking a little bit about, for those just tuning in, talking about the energy, in the band and that kind of thing, and what you've been up to and where we think you guys are going to go now that you're all kind of in different places and different countries and things. So I kind of want to zone in a little bit and kind of divert it to maybe a more personal conversation. So, Drew, I understand you're going to school in Columbia?
Well, yeah, I'm going to Columbia in Chicago for audio production and design.
Fabulous.
Yep, and I'm starting that this year.
Oh, so you're just launching that?
Yeah, I'm just starting this year.
Got it. I kind of had the feeling that maybe you were already hanging out and doing that thing.
Yeah, we're kind of all in different places.
Yeah, neat. But. What drew you to Columbia College?
They just have a really great program for audio production,
right.
And I wanted to go to school in Chicago because I wanted to be able to, make connections with people that I could potentially work for later on in life. Because obviously Chicago's a big music market, and there's
really?
Plenty of opportunities for the things that I want to do. So to be able to be somewhere making connections, maybe even internships and stuff in an area that I might be working in later on.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Was it hard to get in?
I mean, I didn't have any trouble getting in, but
right.
I just sent in my application and worked out good. But
very good.
Thank you.
Very good. So you're going to commute from Northwest Indiana into Chicago?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What made you decide to do that versus going and being on campus?
Mainly just cost.
Yeah.
Living in Chicago is just crazy expensive. And,
indeed.
Yeah, and I still like being in this area, so I think it all works out pretty good.
Yeah, I think it absolutely. I wonder if you're going to commute the whole 4 years. My heart says you might end up transplanting.
Yeah, I've been told that a lot. That after about 1 year, I'll get tired of it.
I was going to say 1 winter, you're probably going to be enough. Enough of this
we'll
game.
See.
Yeah. Are you going to be driving in or take public transportation?
No, probably just the train.
Yeah. Well, give it 1 year.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to send.
That's
everybody
probably about as long as that'll last.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll just send everybody your Chicago address. I've moved to send out those postcards so everybody knows where you're going. So we are welcoming Sam. We did get an opportunity to have him join us today. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, I am glad to finally be here.
Yeah. Did you? It kind of gets a little bit lost finding the station sometimes.
No, yeah, and I was on my way over here, and there was a big yellow lab golden retriever mix that was just laying down in the middle of the road. So I scooped him or her up, and I actually had to drop her off at. Took her to the police station. I'm not bad-mouthing the police, but the police did not help me, and so I had to take them out here to Valpo Animal Shelter, but I'm here now, so.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
So, and that's a brand new shelter. So I've never been in it. How was it there?
I was actually with there was a firefighter that's from Joliet, Illinois, and we both just kind of took these dogs together, and I didn't actually go inside. It looked nice, but there was a sheriff there that met us, and sheriff was nice, I guess.
That's awesome. And tags on the dog? Do we know if the dog?
Nothing. No, one of them had no collar. The other one had a collar with no tag. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think a pet like that belongs to somebody, don't you think?
I mean,
yeah. That's not usually ones that are kind of hanging out.
I know.
Yeah, in the wildlife, chatting with deers.
So I guess if they're listening, your dogs are at
your dog is
the Valpo Animal Shelter.
That's right. Right there on Route 49, go pick up your dog. Wow, boy. You often do this? Pick up?
No. This is
the first time.
Yeah, it's the first time occurrence for me. But
that's actually one of his side gigs besides the band.
Yeah,
just finds dogs.
Dogs, right. Roadside dog.
Yeah, I got a knack for it, I guess. So.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you how many people would drive by that and go, "Ooh, got to fly, got somewhere to be," and just kind of let that go by.
You know what the funny thing is that the guy that I was we were kind of working this out together. Like I said, he was a firefighter.
Yeah.
And he'd said that he sees some kind of graphic things at times, or there'll be a guy hanging out laying down on the side of the road and. People just drive straight by, not stop, don't care. But anytime there's a dog that's there, people are always stopping, getting out of their cars to make sure they're okay. And it's the way that people react to dogs versus people is.
Well, there's that whole risk factor. You think about I see people on the side of the road, and I used to pick up people on the side of the road. I mean, just to get them where they were going. But that's scary because a dog's probably not wielding a knife or packing.
You never know.
But you never know.
At least not Chesterton dogs.
Yeah, right. Different. Well, it's okay. Got to be politically correct with that. I want to say dogs far away might be packing something, but I think there's less risk factor of that. But I don't know. That's a whole conversation about how we're a little bit disconnected. But and so I was driving. I was driving in Cedar Lake a couple weeks ago, and there was a turtle in the road, right? A big honking turtle. That wasn't like the breed, but I'm going to call it a big honking turtle. So, and I have a very small sports car. Well, as I drove, I couldn't get around the turtle because by the time I saw it, it was like too late. I just had to go kind of over it, but I kind of scraped him and flipped him. Oh, man. I'm not going to tell you I got out of the car and flipped the turtle back around. I had to go. Somewhere to be. It was like, somebody better get out and flip that turtle back around so I can get off the side of the road. But when I went back around like an hour later after my thing, the turtle was off the road, or gone. So somebody must have taken care of it. But that wasn't the point of the story. The point of the story is how we don't stop for different reasons. But anyway, we were just kind of checking in with Drew about where he's heading this fall, going to Columbia College in Chicago. And then what drew him there, and how long he's probably going to be commuting from the Midwest over here from Memphis, Indiana. Bobby, what are you up to this fall?
I'm at University of North Texas. I'm doing jazz guitar and marketing.
Really? Interesting combination.
Yeah.
What city is that in?
It's in Denton. It's about an hour north of Dallas.
Okay, got it. And how do you like it down there?
I really enjoy it there. I mean, school's crazy. School's so intense.
Yeah.
And really up and down, but I love being in Texas, and I love that town. I love the proximity to Dallas.
Yeah.
I was drawn to there for similar reasons. I think Drew was drawn to Columbia in like the community of musicians that's there, and the people that you're going to be in contact with, and the musical friendships that you're going to make, and especially like being in an area that you can see working. You know, like I could have gone to a great music school like IU.
Right.
But I was kind of thinking, well, I'm not going to be a jazz musician or, a R&B guitar player in Bloomington.
Right.
So, and I really wanted to explore the scene in Dallas.
Sure.
So I'm like, well, if I can do it cost effectively, why not try it?
Why not?
So
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it down there so far. I may stay in Dallas a little bit after I graduate. It's definitely an option. It's kind of just was a step of, it may as well explore this.
Yeah.
Because I have the chance now.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're
So-
not tethered. You're a little young. Gonna guess you're not married.
Mm-mm.
Gonna hope we got no
No,
kids. Alrighty. Yeah. See, then you can go.
So I've really enjoyed it down there so far.
And how far are you from Austin?
About 3-4 hours.
Okay, that's a hot minute.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you ever get over there?
I've been, though, and it's one of my favorite cities in the world.
Yeah, I've never been.
amazing.
Just hear tell. Hear stories about it. I would think that. I mean, is that a big musical hub there as well?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I always
There's,
think of-
there's a lot of more like singer-songwriter stuff happening than in Dallas, but I really like the R&B fusion stuff that's in Dallas. And there's probably a lot more that I'm not aware of, but that's kind of the scene that I've gotten into. And it's like really, there's some exciting stuff going on.
Are you playing out down there as well?
I've gone to some jam sessions. If you're familiar with the soul singer Erykah Badu,
Nope.
her band RC and the Grits hosts a jam session at this place called the Prophet Bar. If you're ever in Dallas on a Wednesday night, go to the Prophet Bar. It is like the
Check
coolest.
my schedule.
It is the coolest vibe you will ever like feel in your life. People just jam until like 2 a.m. Like the most pro musicians.
Wow.
Their groove is ridiculous, and anybody can just get up and play with them.
Wow.
So I've gone a few times to play with them, and it's just such a cool hang. There's tons of non-musicians there, and so I've gotten in that scene a little bit, and I'm hoping to kind of expand more next year, especially too. But just keep going to those things. That's what everybody tells me to do. It's just like go to the jam sessions. Dallas is where it is.
Right.
As much as school is great too, but like
Sure.
getting out and playing with people is a great experience to have.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think it's like a twofold thing. Like you can't do one and not the other. It seems like.
Yeah, because you can't learn from just like one avenue. Having so many different experiences coming in, that's like where you're really getting the rounded sides of everything.
Right.
So,
Oh, I like that.
That's something that I've loved about there, and it's really been a good experience that I haven't been able to get, at least in Chesterton,
No, you got to go to the city. Got to hang out when he gets his apartment in Chicago. You gotta
Now to move nothing.
Yeah, come hang out with him and see what's going on in the city. Would never have thought that Dallas was a hub for that. To kind of catch that kind of vibe. That's
I
amazing.
think it's starting to grow a lot more.
Yeah.
I think it's really starting to kind of get a bigger scene and a bigger reputation. It's not at the point where Austin or Nashville is,
Right.
but Dallas, there's some cool stuff happening there.
So when I think about Austin, I think about like more like the artistic, beatnik kind of
Yep.
conversation. Okay, so I've got that right. Okay. Dallas, gosh, I was there like 30 years ago, and it certainly wasn't that conversation that I was having there. I didn't even really know that it exists, but I wonder kind of like with that whole Nashville thing, is it, if it's like getting a little oversaturated.
I kind of wonder that too. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure.
Yeah.
It is oversaturated, yes, but at the same time, those are also the places like that are going to give you the most opportunity to take off and do something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it is like a dichotomy
Mm-hmm.
because you kind of have to go to really get somewhere,
Yeah.
but there's also tons of other people doing the same thing. So it's hard to stand out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I'm
kind of
gonna-
like, where's the wind?
Luckily, I don't have to make that call yet. I can just be safe and sit in my practice room in school all the time and not worry about that. But
Or go to open
it's
night.
definitely, yeah.
Open mic jam.
So,
Yeah.
but I think about that a lot because that is sort of a reality.
Right. And so, what is your ultimate goal? What's the game plan?
I sort of see myself having like a career side and an artistic side. I really want to be self-employed playing music. That's kind of the thing. The career side is doing like working and gigging, doing like weddings, corporate events, teaching private lessons,
Right.
a bunch of other random things on the side like production or anything that I want to delve more into. I think the main thing is gigging. Then the artistic side would be writing my own music and having my own band and touring. That's kind of more of the dream. And it's kind of about balancing those two and how each of those can exist, energetically with all I can, put my time into.
Sure.
And how much I'm willing to risk. So that's kind of what I see for myself. So I'm not sure where I'm really going to end up, but that's kind of why I've been exploring that in Texas and seeing like, okay, what's going on here and where do I want to go with this? So that's kind of what I see myself gigging and then hopefully have my own group too.
I could see you writing.
I've done a little bit.
Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, that's probably a cool direction to go. Are you doing any recording of anything you've written?
I haven't yet, but I'm going through the process of it.
Yeah.
He has though. Drew's got some original stuff out.
Yeah, you shared a CD on the way in. Thank you for that. I'm gonna listen to that. This station has other hosts. I emailed Sam about that are just really focused on music, and they're just really about promoting, in any way they can, local artisans in that vein. So I'll definitely be sharing all of that with the people that can take you a little bit further than me. I may just be the one that saw you out in a lawn on the side of a pole barn. I went, hey, there's something here. There's something here. There's something more than meets the eye. So thank you for everyone tuning in today. You are listening to WVLP at 103.1 FM, also live streaming at WVLP.org. Today's guests, we have partial members of the band called the Striped Socks, who I happened upon probably late June at a neighborhood party and had the opportunity to see again the holiday weekend a couple weeks ago and did a little video of them, kind of splashed that out in different places. So I know it's gotten some interesting comments on social media. Sam, you missed part of this. I don't know if you were listening to the show in your car on your way in, but there was only one person who caught that you guys weren't wearing shoes at that event, but yeah, there we go. There was an observant eye. I'm like, well, what about the music? Yeah, there weren't shoes, but what about the music? So it seems then the person just joining us actually mid show here is named Sam, and he seems to be the front man. He's maybe the business part of it, or the guy that does all the communications. So thanks for joining in. Glad that you got the dog safe and handled and able to join the show. What's up in your world?
As far as like, what are you up to?
What are you gonna be doing this fall?
Well, I go to school in Bloomington. I go to IU.
Okay.
Not so much. I mean, Bob was kind of bad-mouthing it earlier about the whole music scene there, but I'm actually I'm not down there for music, so it's okay. I don't take any offense to that. Yeah. I went down. I'm going into my sophomore year now. Freshman year, I was all in on secondary education, and I thought I was going to go and teach. My goal was to go be an English teacher, and then eventually I would just kind of convince the school that what they needed was like a history of rock and roll class, and I would just teach music history, and that would be my job. And then, but you can't just like go to school for the history of rock and roll. That's not really something you can do. So like I said, was looking at English, took a few English classes and realized, wow, I'm not really enjoying this as much as I thought I would, and kind of just thought like, all right, well, rather than just do something that's like small but would still make me happy, like what is like a dream? Like what is something, like why not like go for something that is above just like being a teacher? Because I don't know, it's not like I'm going to go to be a teacher and that's not going to work out and I'm just going to fall back on like my, job in like the music industry or fall back on like my sports writing job. It's kind of going to be the other way around. So I decided to go and attempt to take a risk, change my major to sports media. I'm going to go and try and be a sports writer or broadcaster. Made that decision, I don't know, with maybe a month and a half left to my second semester, and I've already got I've got 2 sports writing jobs now. One of them is covering Indiana football recruiting, and the other one is covering the Chicago Blackhawks for a blog called Blackhawk Up, which is through Fansided, who is partnered with Sports Illustrated. So some of my stuff can be featured on Sports Illustrated, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of really taken off as of late, and I've been throwing a lot of myself into all of that, which has been fun because it's something that I am passionate about, and so I still have like this like passion of sports and writing because I love to write, and then I also just get to play music for fun, and it's just been the past like 6 months have been a really like good time to be alive and to be named Sam Boland.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that I think you're on the right track. Yeah. From this vantage point looking in, it's like you said English teacher, and I went, yeah, no. Nice, but no.
Yeah.
Not what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, but I'll have to remind me after the show at some point, connect you there. Are a show devoted just to sports here on the radio station. I'm sure you wouldn't mind having you come and chime in and sit in and
it'd be very cool.
Expand that resume that you got rolling on that. But
we try to reherse, and he and Luke are just talking up at the Hawks, and I'm like, man, so like what beat is the ending on? And he's like, dude, you never believe who just got traded. And
oh no!
I did. We were rehearsing for the beach performance that you were at, and it was, I think there was like half of us that were there on a Thursday night, and it was a more relaxed kind of rehearsal. And in between songs, I was just writing about like a story about somebody that had gotten traded. I didn't realize Bob was so upset about it. But
now we know.
Yeah,
something about radio just makes the truth come out. We get all those backstories that you never get to hear. So that is a very interesting path. And I don't know anything to it, so I can't speak about it. But my heart says the fact that you're already like getting opportunities to get infused into it is pretty huge.
Yeah. Biggest thing is just getting published, is what I've been told.
Yeah.
And so to do that, the whole Indiana football thing I was doing, so this a pretty small company called the Armchair All-Americans, and they're just kind of starting to grow now.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't too hard to get into, and a lot of guys there are just like me, and they're just starting out. But the other thing that I'm doing, the Blackhawks thing that's through Fansided, are definitely significantly bigger. So there's about, I would say maybe like 10,000 people that visit the Armchair All-Americans thing a month, but in just this Blackhawks website, there's like 50,000 people that are viewing a month, and so it's significantly bigger because there's only like 50 to 100 people that are reading my individually like small articles, is where there's hundreds and thousands that are actually viewing this Blackhawks thing.
Right.
And the guy that I'm working with is he's like my peer in this. We're both responsible for editing 7 people's, like, there's contributors and there's editors, and I'm one of the editors. And so we have to edit 7 other guys' articles, and me and my peer in this are also responsible for 25 to 30 pieces a month that we are producing.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a real job with
it
this,
really
where the
is.
other one isn't so much a real job, it's more of like a side thing.
Right.
And the guy that I share this job with has graduated from Butler with a journalism degree, has worked for a newspaper for a couple of years, and now he's doing this, and I'm doing this on 6 months of college experience.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of crazy to think that I'm like already being thrown into that, but it feels good. It feels like there's kind of something special about what's like starting to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of trying to ride the wave a little bit.
It almost feels like a confirmation.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. It's like, you know, when you're following the path that you're supposed to follow, all of a sudden the doors start flying open, you know. So you're at an open mic gig, or you're, you know, writing stuff that somebody's like, who's this guy? Who's this young guy on the scene? I wish you luck with that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll have to communicate after the fact and just kind of see what we can do to help anybody, all of you guys, you know, connect to doing what it is that you really want to do and where you want to go. Any assistance I can give to that end, I'm happy to do it. So, yeah, you're welcome. So, any upcoming music gigs coming for the rest of the summer?
We play this Saturday at somebody's open house. We're playing a small little gig this Saturday night, and then after that, I think as a band we're kind of on a break for a while. But I know these guys are always playing places.
Yeah. How do we? I mean, I know that there's an email for the band, but is there a Facebook page for anything that you guys are up to, or people could follow?
We do not have a Facebook page. We are on Instagram. I believe it's just the Striped Socks. Maybe there's the Striped Socks band. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
It'll come up if you type the Striped Socks.
There's only one of you.
Yeah. But that is primarily, we do that, and then we're on Twitter also. And those are kind of our main ways of keeping people up to date with what's going on.
Gotcha. You know what? I think it's like an old person thing. It's like I just don't use those vehicles. I use the Facebook and the LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. So I think the younger crowd, you guys are using different platforms. But how about your open mic stuff? You doing any exposure of that?
I actually do some solo gigs. Like I'll do acoustic covers and sing. And I'm actually playing at the Valpo Market the 28th. I just played this last Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, give us more details about that.
I'm playing from 11 to 1 Saturday the 28th.
Oh, got it. Gotcha.
So come by, come listen, come say hi.
Yeah, 11 to 1. And that's the Valpo?
I'm doing like Beatles and Paul Simon stuff.
Very good. Awesome.
That's the vibe.
That is really cool. You may see me there.
Cool.
Sam, you missed the whole story. Before the show started, I was asking the guys if they were familiar. I'm getting a Mevo. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not familiar.
Oh my goodness! You know, here I'm thinking, I'm all techno and
You're the only person that's hip to this. We have no idea what's going on.
Isn't that funny? I'm like, they're gonna know exactly. They're gonna tell me how to use it, how to set it up, and how to make it work. It's a camera that is like a GoPro, but it's really designed. The enhanced version is really designed for live streaming and for recording bands. It's because it's got a really good sound quality to it, and also like the camera lens has a 90-degree radius or scope that you can pick up everybody from. Yeah, and you can get back like 100 feet and set it up and have a good thing. As I like to stream, you know, into the Facebook Live and stuff like that, but it's very limited. You know, when you use your phone or you use an iPad or whatever, you can't get everybody on the screen. You know, you'd have to really snuggle up, and that's just uncomfortable. So I'm getting this Mevo for this very reason. So you may see me on the 28th with a Mevo out there, kind of catching it, put a little bit of it out there.
Groovy.
You know? Yeah, right? That's how it happens. So
you're doing all our promotional videos,
right?
We need to hire you.
Yeah, what do you charge?
Right? Well, and thank you, and you're welcome. Thank you, and you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And I was also telling you, Sam, when you were picking up stray dogs, is that
just casual.
Yeah, just cash. Yeah.
As one does.
That's what you do.
As one does, yeah.
So, right, as everyone should. Not everyone does, as we're finding out. That I do, like I record my own videos that I put out there, and usually like 2 to 3 minutes, because after that you're going to lose your audience for sure. But so I've gotten really, really good at playing with iMovie and doing all that stuff. But the one that I did for you guys is definitely editable. So I was telling Bobby that, I wasn't sure what to put on the tail end of that video. So I just kind of put the band name again, because I was like, I can't really put the contact information. Should I? I don't know. Should I? And I just never got it.
I think we would have loved just a stock photo of Google Images of just a striped sock.
Send it.
With the even make it really tacky and keep the watermark on it. And
Yes.
just slap it on the end
Is that
of the
funny?
video.
You said tacky, and I pictured like a tattered sock.
Yeah.
Yeah. A well-worn,
I think that would
tattered
be
left
tasteful.
sock.
Yes. Yeah.
You get that image, send that image to me, and I will
We'll make it happen.
And we'll do that. That is funny. That's funny. So I want to circle back around to Sam, what you were talking about, like bringing some of that passion that you have for the sports, maybe dovetailing in that into the school systems and things like that. My word to the wise, the mom side of me, the finger wagging, 50-plus gal, is saying keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open to creating things that don't already exist. And sometimes what you find is like when you just bring your passion out there, and there's really just not necessarily money that slides into your pocket from that's where connections happen. So the reason, just to share, and I want to put this out there for the listening audience as well, with the whole thing about the MEVO, is that I just recently launched a program, and I call it the Frequency of the Future, is what I named it. And what I'm doing is actually bringing a radio show to kids, and I'm bringing it into the middle school, high school, and other youth organizations. So where we actually sit down and, we're probably not going to be sitting, but actually working with the kids to create a radio show. So, figuring out who's going to be the host, interviewing people for the guests, letting them design the content, where do they want the show to go, and then recording, editing, and then doing a pre-recorded broadcast or two or multiple.
That's very cool.
Is it awesome, right?
It's great giving kids that opportunity.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
I wasn't really involved in Chesterton's radio, but the kids that I know that were just so passionate. They loved it. They have great resources there. Like I'd seen all the gear, and I was on the show one time, and it was just like, man, this is. I think it's really great to give people the opportunity to explore it.
And here's the thing. And so kind of like when I thought about it, when it came to me in like a flash of, hey, this is what you need to be playing, is that my commitment is always to bring a program to kids that are flying under the radar, not the ones that are picked because they shine a little bit brighter, or they're getting the attention, or they're getting the attention for negative behavior. It's like I want to get to all of them, and I'll take all those in the middle, and all the ones on the peripheral as well. But so kind of what the thought was this: the undercurrent to it, like the reason for it is, yeah, what a totally groovy thing to bring a radio show, like, and let everybody participate that wants to do that, but. The visual I had was kind of like if a kid is a pressure cooker, he's on the stove in the top. I don't know if you guys are familiar with pressure cookers. Okay, cool.
You don't have a pressure cooker. You need to get a pressure cooker if you're in college. That's stuff
you got to
do
it.
You so much time.
Oh, is that fun? See, I always think of older ladies with grayer hair.
No, I'm just so lazy, and I eat cheap, good food, and I'm like, throw some rice on in the pressure cooker.
Yeah. Well, what a cool thing. Better than ramen. Yeah.
Oh, much better.
Yeah, much better.
But anyways, about radio.
So about radio. So like imagine that there's a kid and he's the pressure cooker on the stove, right? And the top, there's that little button on the top that goes clack, 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 right? And like, what if an opportunity to have 10 seconds or 10 minutes or an hour to just let something out that needs to be heard? And I think, and I could be dead wrong, there are kids out there, and you guys are right coming out of this conversation, that there are things that you need to say, and there are things that we're not hearing. And it's not that we don't want to hear them, but we're just not hearing them. So if there's a resource to let a kid have just a minute to express, and then all of a sudden the clack, clack, clack goes clack, 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 psst, right? Mm-hmm. That's the reason. That's the reason for the program. So, long story short, if you connect me to somebody in Duneland, that'd be really cool if you have anybody out there to do that with. But so I've spent lots of days sending out. I think I've sent out over 500 emails now to different school superintendents and people that had the ability to make some decisions about bringing that to their organization. So, and after the show today, I'm meeting with the Boys and Girls Club because they said, yeah, bring it in, bring it on. So that's my day. But anyway, long story short, I'm not sure why that came in. I don't know. We're just kind of going where it goes. But
it came from somewhere.
It came from somewhere. I think it was about the conversation about the MEVO. There we go, right? So my thought is that this particular project, I want to have it videoed. I want a videography of it from start to finish. And because there's something about that, there will be some use for that piece. So, and no, it wasn't just about the Mevo, it was about Mr. Sam. To say, like, just never stop thinking about where you can bring that. And if you've got that little piece that says, I want to bring that to kids, create it. Make it happen. Pull something from nothing. And then just go out there and give it, and then that ends up connecting and connecting and connecting. So there we go. There we go. More than you were looking for today. Thanks for everyone tuning in today. You are listening to WVLP at 103.1 FM. Also live streaming at WVLP.org. For those of you just tuning in, we have 3 of 7 members of the band Striped Socks. And a lot of great energy that happens up on the stage with them. I've had the opportunity to see them twice, one for all full sets and then one just, unfortunately, for not even half of the first set, but definitely going to pick you guys up again. Want to find ways to follow you when you reconvene. It sounds like you guys are kind of all going in different directions and launching your lives and following your passions and dreams, and that kind of has you all physically disconnected. So we've got Bobby, who's in Texas. We've got Sam, who is in IU, Bloomington. And we've got Drew, who is going to be starting off and stepping out at Columbia College in Chicago. We got another band member in Japan and somebody else who's out of state.
Yes, our other guitar player lives in Georgia.
Oh, got it. And what is he up to there?
His parents moved down there after high school, but he also goes to IU in Bloomington and is going for audio engineering.
Oh, another audio guy. Yeah. What do you? Let me dovetail back around to Drew. What do you see yourself doing when you're done with college?
Well, in terms of audio production, 2 things that I want to be doing is like one would be like running live sound for events.
Yeah.
Maybe working like through a venue or something like that. And then also just recording artists, working in a studio.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Like working in a studio or actually having the studio and owning the studio?
I guess it depends how far I get.
Yeah.
But probably starting out just, like renting out studios and then recording artists in them.
Gotcha.
So.
Probably a lot more conversation for that in Chicago than there is down here in Indiana.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was one of the reasons that I wanted to go to school in Chicago.
Right.
Was because there's a lot more opportunity for audio jobs and just like the music industry in general.
Right.
In Chicago as opposed to Northwest Indiana.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I wish you well with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can see you like having your own studio. Yeah.
Hope I get to that point one day.
Yeah, it's kind of the vision I got. So, yeah, and I know that there's not a lot of options for sure down here. Mm-hmm. I remember one time I had this brainstorm that I wanted to do a podcast, right? And which is how I ended up backing into this gig here at WVLP, but and trying to find a place just to record. Was like, are you joking?
Yeah.
Like there was one in some guy's house, which I thought, okay, all right, I don't know the dude, but it's all good, but just like not being able to get an email back from him. I'm like, hello, I have cash.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It'll spend. It's either going to go here or the other. And I never got responses from anybody down here with recording studios to kind of use. So
yeah, there's not a lot of options in this area I've seen because like with the recordings we've done, I've tried to find places around here that I could record stuff at instead of having to go to Chicago, or sometimes we've recorded like past Chicago, like in those suburbs and stuff, just where people have studios. And but yeah, I have not been able to find many things in this area.
No, and who knows why? We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't see you doing that down here, by the way. So I see you kind of doing that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. But so just to kind of get my head wrapped around it just a little bit more, because this is kind of foreign to me, what you guys are doing and you're up to, is so if somebody says, well, I want to have my thus and such recorded, then you would come in and facilitate all that?
Yeah, that's one thing that I could do. So either a lot of people have like home studios because recording is like in recent years has gotten a lot cheaper and easier to do than it used to be, especially now that everything's digital.
Yeah.
A lot of popular songs are just made, like not in a big studio, but just through a software on a
Sure.
laptop or something like that.
Sure.
So there's a lot of home studio options, but you could rent out a studio, bring the band in, record them there, and then do all the post-production work either at the studio or just at home if you have the software.
Got it. There's a market for this.
There is.
I'm dead serious. Again, because I just remember going through that and looking at different things where I wanted to do recording, and I don't know if I'd share with you guys, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed with technology, but I'm not a slouch either. I can hold my own. But so I remember opening up GarageBand and went and week after week after week after week of trying to work with GarageBand, and finally it was like, enough of this.
Yeah.
Enough. So my self-esteem, went down. It was a bad scene.
Any software has a crazy learning curve.
I couldn't
even if
get
it's
it.
Like what's supposed to be like a free and easy software.
Like Audacity?
jumping into it
Yeah.
head first is
Yeah.
usually pretty difficult.
Yeah, and you know what? There's not enough YouTube video to
Oh,
get
yeah.
me through that learning curve. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I watched a bunch, and then I tried Audacity, and it was a little bit less painful. And I actually did do a couple different things with that. But then I remember I did like a really long project with Audacity, and I had it all ready to go, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was my Mac or what the buzz was, but the whole thing was deleted, and it was like, enough.
Yep, that happens. Happens a lot.
Yeah. Does it?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, because I was the music director at the Chesterton radio station,
Yeah.
WDSO, and we use Audacity for, whether we're just recording little bridges and stuff for the station, or sometimes we'd record our after-school shows.
Yeah.
Like if we can't make our 3 to 4 show, we would just record it during the school day, and then it'd be set to play later on.
Right.
And sometimes you just put that hour-long file together, put all the music and talking in there and stuff, and then you go to save it, and it's just like too much for the software or something, and it'll just crash.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's happened, and then I just ended up staying and doing the show live anyways after I recorded it because I lost everything. But
that is not what I did. No, it was a bottle of red wine, a lot of tears.
and starting over.
Yeah, like that Harry Carey thing where you got the
Yeah.
and you want to fall on the sword. That was me. That was this girl, and that was it. Thank you for telling me that happens to other people. Do you just like totally? My whole trajectory is like, hey. It's not me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So anyway, long story short is
I'm glad we can all feel great about our own failures together.
Indeed, right. And there's never a failure. It's always an opportunity to learn. As I emailed somebody recently, never have to feel bad about stuff like that. So kind of the whole reason of sharing all that with everybody listening is that there's a pocket for that. There's a window for that. There's an opportunity to make some money with this. Mm-hmm. So like people that want to do anything. Like I know other people that want to do podcasting, but they have nowhere to start and probably not even the wherewithal to try to do it on their own. Like I tried to do things on my own. And what if you created something that you were the guy in the middle? You were the guy that
just kind of hitting record and facilitating it. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more than hitting record.
Yeah.
And then just offering to edit it as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. is a huge thing too as well. I don't know. Think about it if you ever need cash.
Yeah. I mean, that is always a need.
Yeah. Track me down. I'm serious. We could play a game with it. So everything I think about like we're going to play a game, right?
Yeah.
So I don't put a lot of pressure on myself, and whatever happens, happens, and you just win because you're playing.
Right.
There's no end winner. But if you decide that you want to do that, you want to find and create an opportunity. I do a lot of things, and one of the things I do is help facilitate people picking up and starting small businesses from things that usually don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and finding a way to get them out and take some vision and putting cash in pocket from that and getting experience, and always good to create content.
Yeah.
So track me down.
Awesome.
We've got a few minutes remaining. Anybody want to plug anything else they're doing? Aside from July 28th at the Valpo Market from 11 to 1, you may see me out there with my Vimo Mevo. Heck, I gotta say it right. My Mevo recording, Bobby. And then I'll share all that footage with you, and you can play with it, and I'll play with it on iMovie. Yeah. Anybody else want to plug anything they're up to?
I know you plugged your sports writing articles and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do anything interesting, so there's nothing to plug.
I don't know. That open mic thing makes me want to get a plane ticket to Dallas and kind of sit there on a Wednesday night and catch you doing that. Yeah, in your form. Okay, here we're going to go. Let's cycle back around to Sam, who's, also to keep connected. We may want to play a game in the future of bringing your sports into what I'm doing with the frequency of the future, because there may be other young little guys out there, or gals, I guess I don't want to be sexist about that, that want to have a passion for that. Would you ever want to play with that?
Absolutely. And I mean, while you were saying that, I just couldn't stop thinking about like how cool that would have been if we would have had that opportunity when we were in school, because there are a lot of things that, you would like want to say, or something, a cause that maybe you believe in, or something that you want to just get out there. But as a kid, what is your avenue to be able to do that? How are you, there's not like a path for you to do that easily as a kid. And so I feel like bringing that to kids and like giving them that opportunity is just a really incredible idea, and I'd love to connect with you and try to be a part of that.
Thank you, and thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Yeah. I got that. And we'll play. I will actually offer that as a possibility when I introduce the program into the kids, and we'll figure out how to make that happen. Because how cool that is. How cool that is. And I do think that, it's been a hot minute since I've spoken young person, right? My kids are grown. So I'm a little disconnected from all of that, but it feels like, there's some release of things, and some of that pressure cooker is not exploding because y'all are connecting via social media and things like that, and you have more of an audience and more of a scope that you can bring out. But there's just something to me, and I could be dead wrong, and you could tell me, Terry, you're off the mark, or Terry, you're on the money, that it's the adults that need to hear you. We're the ones, I had a young gal on the station a couple times now who she was Valparaiso High School senior this year, and she headed up the walkout and the demonstrations and things like that. And when I brought her on and what she told me about what you guys have gone through and what your reality is and what you're living, I was, my God, had no clue. And I'm not the only one who doesn't understand what that looks like for you, or there wouldn't be all the resistance, correct? And I think that there would be more things in place so that we don't have that much risk or those kind of conversations as you guys are walking into school doors. But so anyway, all things come together, and that's what that's about. So want to take a moment and thank everyone who's listening today. You have been listening to WVLP at 103.1 FM, also live streaming at WVLP.org. Today's show is brought to you by Ryan Eberhardt from Diamond Residential Mortgage. Diamond is it's a great organization, but Ryan's really the catalyst for what I think is remarkable out there. He really cares about his clients. He takes time to make sure that people understand things so that they can make their best decisions for themselves and their families and their wallets. And he's just a phenomenal guy all the way around. Office is located right on Route 30 at 350 Northland Drive in Valparaiso, right at the intersection of Route 30 and Route 2. His direct phone number is area code 219-707-8429. I want to take a moment and always thank Ryan for supporting WVLP and community radio. Also want to thank our guests, 3 of the 7 members of the Striped Sox. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we will play more game. I guarantee it, individually and maybe collectively. And, always a learning curve. Next time around, we're going to do a little bit differently. You'll probably see me in my camera, and we'll have a lot more technology and get you in with some instruments and do some acoustical stuff. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Thanks again. You were listening to Terry Healy, bringing us some extraordinary transformation. Everybody have a great week.